Good day, wherever you are. This is Regis Raw Forex channel, and today we want to talk about what we are expecting for today's news and what has already happened. By the way, the trade of last night, if you notice, there was an account we are trying to recover. It was in about 4.5% negative drawdown. Is a Profirm account, so we are using news to trade it back to break even so the person can have a retry. And so we are already here. Those trades of yesterday ended this morning in profit because the market was choppy. It was ranging. It wasn't a news trade, so we just wanted to trade technical. But since we are using our system, it doesn't matter the final direction of the market. We end in profit or break even. So we ended in a little profit and we'll continue today. Yeah. So yesterday, the midnight, we had a news. It was the Japanese news outbreak, balance of trade. It was worse than expected. It was minus 412 billion yen. Meanwhile, the previous data, or the consensus data, that's it was predicted it would be minus 100, but it came out minus 400 billion. So it was worse than expected. And so since the news came out worse than expected, Japanese yen is supposed to drop while other pairs quoted against it would rise. All right, and so this is what happened. Let me go to this broker is 2 hours ahead of me, so let me go to, it was 2:30, it was 12:30 midnight, so I'm going to 2:30. Yeah, this is the 2:30 candle. This is where it started. And so when the news broke out, the Japanese yen was meant to drop. So pounds against Japanese yen, euros against Japanese yen, odd against Japanese yen, cat, anything against Japanese yen would shoot up because yen is dropping. All right, as a trader, you know that already. And so there was a movement 168.0 up to 168.4, and that's roughly 40 pips. So you must have made one standard lot would have given you $400 there. Now, at the end of that news effect, at about 2:45 a.m., there is a resistance here, and the Japanese yen index is already weak. It's too weak, already too weak. And so the positive move lasted for 40 pips. Now, but because there is a resistance here, after the news effect, all right, had given us 40 pips, you would expect that the market will react to this resistance and drop. All right, yeah, because currently the pounds and euros is weak because of the sanctions in Russia, and it's affecting euros, affecting British pounds. All right, so there was a great drop. So if you were using our system, you must have taken 40 pips profit here and it will shut down. All right, always target 30 to 40 pips with currency news. Then for US dollar news, if you are trading gold, always target 60 to 80 pips. All right, so if I was awake by this time, I would have looked at this resistance and entered a sell with my system, with the micro hedge fund software. And I'll sleep over it because the market is going to react. There is what we call fundamental correction. That is the news correction. The market would react back to what the news did. It will counter the news at a point. So that's a correction. And so I would have entered a sell here and allow it to run, knowing that before the Asian market will end by 9, around 9, the market must have come down. So, and I'll set like 30 pips. So let's say I entered at this resistance 168.2 at 167.9. the system has already taken me out in profit. All right, then let's look at the upcoming news for the day. We have CAD news coming up today. We have CAD news coming up today. CAD against Swiss francs. Okay, let's see the news for today. Yeah, we have CAD news coming up today about inflation. So the consensus data is 6.1 for the year-on-year or inflation. We also have a consensus data for the month of March, 3.7. So if the actual data that will come out here by then, if the actual data that will appear here by then is lower than the consensus, then it is bearish, as the CAD is supposed to fall. But if it comes out higher, CAD is supposed to rise. So if it comes out lower, it means CAD against Swiss franc, CAD against JPY would fall. So we'll have a great fall here. So we can take 30-40 pips and come out. If it is positive, it is the actual is greater than the consensus, the forecast, then it will shoot up. So by 1:30 a.m. GMT plus 1, we would be in the market. And with the system, we don't really care what it will do, because the system has a way of hedging to give us profit. Yeah. So that's our expectation for today. We also have another news, the US news, US home sales, I think existing home sales news. And if it is positive, if the actual data is greater than the forecast data or consensus data, it will be bullish, vice versa. So prepare yourself for the news trade of today, Canadian dollars and US dollar. We've already missed that of Japanese yen because we're all asleep here in West Africa. All right. Cheers.